ultimately under threat of duress to give his hand rather than his head.
Well, just one point. I think for all these things I've heard in the past with other Sunni ulama.
Would you kindly speak into the microphone so that the matter...
We have, I'll probably be able to answer them, but you may not accept them, but the question that I asked in the beginning was based upon what the Qadianis think about Shias. Do they believe that Shias are Muslim or are not?
Of course they are Muslims.
Because that was the main question.
Yes,
that wasn't supposed to be
I'm sorry.
I think I can't answer all the questions.
Of course you may be. Of course, every Shia who holds the Shia view would have some explanation,
maybe
of course.
you won't accept them.
Whether you accept my explanation or reject it, whether I accept or reject your explanation, that is different.
Right.
We will be judged severally by Allah Himself.
That's right.
Whether our rejection was well-founded or not.
Right.
So I have explained myself. As far as the Shias are concerned, Ahmadiyya point of view is this, that not only Shias, all those who declare themselves to be Muslims, who call themselves to be Muslims, have a right to be treated as Muslims, whether you believe them to be true Muslims in reality or not. That is a different thing. Whether you consider them kafir within Islam, that is also your own choice. But you have no right to dispossess them of the fundamental right of declaring themselves Muslims. So whenever we refer to non-Ahmadis, whether they are Shias or Sunnis, your question should not have been this, that what do you consider of us Shias? Because the question should be whatever you consider other sects of Islam, including Sunnis and Shias. So our attitude to all of them is this, that as long as they say kalima, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, as long as they recite this kalima, as long as they face Kaaba, as long as they believe in the 5 fundamentals or 6 fundamentals of faith, and believe in the 5 practices of Islam.
What's the 6th here?
Pardon? 6th? Yawm al-Akhirah.
Pardon?
Akhirah.
I see.
Yawm al-Akhir?
Yes.
That is the 6th one. Taqdeer, I'm sorry. Yawm al-Akhirah is including in the 5 taqdeer, khair or shar. According to some traditions, this is also a fundamental of faith, to believe in taqdeer, khair or shar. So that was the 6th I referred to as in addition. The 5 we have a reference about the 5 we have a reference in the Holy Quran. In the 6th we have a reference in the tradition.
That's right.
So most scholars have accepted it to be a part of fundamental faith. So I is referred to as 6th. Anyway, if a Muslim meets these requirements, he has every right to call himself a Muslim. So whenever we refer to non-Ahmadis, we refer to them as non-Ahmadi Muslims. You can read our literature. Wherever you will find a reference to non-Ahmadis, you will never find a reference to non-Ahmadis as Ghair Muslim. And whenever we refer to others not belonging to Islam, we declare them to be non-Muslims. So that attitude is so clear and so evident that I wonder why there should be a doubt cast on this in this regard.
Because some Sunnis don't believe the Shias are Muslim at all.
They don't consider Shias as Muslims. I know that. And there are Shias also who don't consider the Sunnis as Muslims at all. I know, I tell you, there were many Shias who used to ask this question, are you a Muslim or are you a Sunni? From Iran. I have come across, once I was visiting the buildings of International Court of Justice. I came across a Shia student who was very vehement and very enthusiastic about things. And this was his attitude. He said, well, I know only 2 deviants. Muslims, please. Muslim or Sunni? What are you, Ahmadi? He couldn't understand this.
You can't judge Shia ideology by looking at someone who's Shia. That doesn't mean anything.
No, there's so many. It is a futile thing to enter into such small, menial debates. whether they believe or not, that is not important to me. The fact which is important to me is this, that the fundamental human right must be guarded. If somebody considers himself to be a Christian and wants to declare himself as well to be a Christian and doesn't want to hide this fact, he should have this fundamental right to do so. And nobody can deprive him from this right, despite the fact that the opponent also has a right to believe him to be not a true Christian. So this debate is not as simple as that. Now suppose I believe that with the views which I have just discussed, a Shia holding such views contradicts so many fundamentals of Islam that I don't think he is truly a Muslim. If I genuinely hold this belief, I should also have a right to do that. Still, I cannot dispossess you of your fundamental right. No, I can't. Because whether I believe you to be a Muslim or not, that is immaterial. The point which is immaterial is this, that you should have a right to declare yourself to be a Muslim, and you must not be deprived of that right. You should not be treated in a Muslim society or in a Muslim country as non-Muslim, because you say you are a Muslim. So when I say that I have a right to consider you otherwise, I only mean, with this qualification, that only means that, in my opinion, when you die, and when you appear before God, because your views on Islam have become corrupted, according to me, then Allah will treat you as someone who had deviated from the true path of Islam. That is the only meaning. And this meaning is supported by a tradition of the Holy Prophet of Islam, which again is a tradition which is not disputable. It is said that when Hazur Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam would appear on Hauz Kausar, that eternal fountain of bliss, there would be people who would be carried away from among the Muslims towards hell. Hazrat sallallahu alaihi wasallam would look at them and protest by saying, Ashabi, Ashabi, they're my companions, my companions. This is his knowledge about them. But the knowledge of Allah is otherwise. He says, yes, they were companions, but you don't know what they did afterwards and what acts they indulged in later on. So that gives me a limelight. The fact is that whatever they did after the death of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they did not certainly deviate from the 5 fundamentals or 6 fundamentals I have referred to. Yet they were referred to as having deviated so much from the path of Islam as they were being driven to hell. But that is a matter for Allah to decide, not for me or for you.
Okay.